Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Really look forward to this podcast, and I'm sure the viewers also will get a lot of insights from you with this broadcast. So, we've heard the story about Powai transformation. As brand Hiranandani, you have a strong fortress in Maharashtra. How did Chennai story begin?
I was always interested in Chennai. So we invested in a company called Binny's, and I used to come here for their board meetings and other things, and also to discuss various things. I was a director on the board. And Binny's had a lot of land in Chennai and in the center of the city and in the periphery. So I always encouraged them and discussed with them, and they're the doyens of business and industry in Chennai. So we kind of shared knowledge with them, and they liked what I was doing and what we were doing. However, for some good reason or not, changes took place in the market. And then I disinvested from Binny's. But it was always there in my mind how to go back to Chennai. And that's how the interest took place. And we took the place in OMR first. So Surendra, my brother, and I, we kind of took the project in OMR. We started it, and then I passed it on to him completely, and then invested into this place in Oragadam. So we took 380 acres of land over here in Oragadam, which ran a Triveni school over here, and they had 35 or 40,000 investors who had lost their money, and the matter was in NCLT, or it was in liquidation, and it was considered to be a scam. We kind of invested into that through the process of the High Court. And something which is amazing me how I did it at that time. But anyway, it happened, and finally we were able to pay off, and we got this land which was originally belonging to Triveni School. And the making of Hiranandani Parks is history.
What has been your vision for Hiranandani Parks, Oragadam?
Every township that we do has an aspiration. Aspiration to excel, aspiration to create something which will be a memory in the present, but also for the future. An idea to be environmentally friendly and to create something which will keep people with the best quality of product that they can possibly get. Also the fact that we have created ideals of high-rise, as well as we have created in the adjoining part of it, industrial and warehousing. So all that has created fantastic. Second part of it was to create amenities which were extraordinary. One is the sports amenities. The second was the schools and the golf course, and the other part of it, but to create retail also. So all the people who live in the area, work in the area, or come in the area will get joy by just coming over here, or buying the place, or renting it, or staying here, or coming here to visit, coming here to play golf, coming here to sports. All that is really wonderful to see how all the aspirations of the people can be met, and each of one persons feel very good inside when you come here. So all that and more is extremely important. Yes, it's about the business. So a lot of people who invest money, you get the highest returns in terms of rental in Hiranandani Parks as compared to the whole city of Chennai. You get better returns. So if you buy a place and then you give it out on rent, you're getting the best return for your money. It's more than 6% on residential, which is
unheard of, at least in the city, definitely. Or even in Chennai, I have not heard about 6% rental yield on a residential property.
Yes, so you're getting that also. So all that, so while the business of business is good, while the investment opportunity is good and it is reasonable priced, still the quality of life and the contentment that a person gets by living here, enjoying life over here, is second to none.
Wonderful, sir. You've always been an advocate of sustainable development. Do you think Hiranandani Parks, Oragadam is there?
Of course it is. I mean, look at the plantation of trees, the gardens maintenance, the fountains, the green areas where the playing is there, where the children park is there, place for the elders are there to walk around and live and be of the quality of life. So yes, I think it's environmentally much more better than any other place in Chennai.
Gone through some data which suggests that NRIs have started investing more into India after COVID. Is that true, and is it applicable for your projects also?
Well, let's put it across how factually. Pre-COVID, we had about 20% of our sales going to NRIs in the earlier period. Now, in some of our projects, we have going up to 27% of our sales also take place in the NRI, but not in all the projects.
Not in all.
Not in all the projects. So this keeps on varying. But yes, in two of our projects, we see that the number of NRIs as compared to the total percentage of sales has moved up. There is no doubt about it. So whether it's going to be sustainable or not, I don't know. But as of today, interest in India is growing, GDP is growing. So I think all that is definitely looking much more attractive. So people are investing more into the Indian real estate market.
So how about the senior living in Hiranandani Parks, Oragadam, sir?
Oh, we are planning to do that in Hiranandani Parks in Oragadam. 10 years ago, I was against it. The reason is we didn't have a hospital. We didn't have young children in the complex.
Okay.
And having an elders kind of get together living here without the facility of a hospital nearby, people who are elderly, who are grandparents' age, should be around with children, if not children, at least grandchildren type of age. And children playing in the gardens, they can walk around in this area and environment that is there, maybe even go to the school and see the children there. Children can go and meet the parents. So now we are going to do the senior living project in Hiranandani Parks, and we hope that a lot of people who are interested to have their families who they cannot look after because they are abroad and their parents are here, I think it'd be a good facility that we want to create in addition to whatever else we are doing.
Absolutely, sir. Chennai buyers are more bullish about investing in land and gold as an asset class. How has been response for your villa plots here in Hiranandani Parks?
So we find a huge response as far as homes are concerned in apartments. But recently we find that the interest in plots and villas is really much higher. Okay. And we have a large number of them. So while we have 1,500 residents over here, the next round I think will be more about plots and villas which are going to take place. So yes, tremendous demand for that in the peripheral areas of Chennai. I think demand for land, as you said, it's something which is close to the heart of everyone, and the home is something which you can use and which will remain and you can hand over to the next generation. So people feel good that land, property, villas to the ground can be handed over to the next generation.
So which project was the turning point for you where you got that confidence that yes, this is where I'm going to make it big?
Well, let me tell you, we were building buildings in Lokhandwala complex. Okay. Where Mr. Lokhandwala was building 150 or 170 buildings. I had very little money, so I used to buy one plot instead of 150 and kind of sell it, start the development, get some money, then buy the next one and so on and so forth. And slowly but surely I bought 11 plots in that same complex. And we were 22 small developers while we had one Mr. Lokhandwala was doing 150 buildings. But as we developed that place, I realized one thing that I was really not happy. For those days, it was a nice building of the quality that I made. But obviously, comparison today, it was not so good. But when I completed the building, I was very unhappy because if I stood out and looked outside the building, the roads were bad, the stormwater drain was bad, the street lights were not there. So I formed an association to get all the builders together and we developed the whole infra of that thing. That I think was a turning point in my mind, that I wanted to do something where I'd get a large layout, where I can create the infrastructure, can create the entire gamut. And that's where my feeling was that if you have a large layout, you can do everything. You can make gardens, you can make residential, but you could also do commercial, you can do retail, you can put up a school, you can put up entertainment and so on and so forth. And that's how I think the concept in my mind grew. Okay. And we acquired the place in Powai of Hiranandani Gardens. That's 35 years ago, so it's a long time. And again, we were able to fulfill our dreams in doing what we wanted to do, which is a holistic township which was complete in every sense of the word. And I think that became a project which was turning point in the history of our company. And that's what has succeeded tremendously.
Your project in Powai has transformed Powai itself and its skylines.
Yes, I think it has made a visual impact too, besides being of the quality that we did. I think the visual image that we were able to create of what buildings should be, architecture should be, infrastructure should be, amenities should be, I think all that we were able to set in very early days standards. And the second thing we did was creating environmental care, which now is becoming mandated, but in those days it was not. So we built in Powai the largest sewage recycling plant in those days, 25, 30 years ago, of 4 billion liters per day. And we recycled water, which we still do till today. And we reuse this water for flushing, for gardens and other things, construction too. So all that and more, planted hundreds of thousands of trees, create lots of beautiful gardens. That's why Hiranandani Gardens. And that made a lot of difference in terms of the environment. So besides giving quality buildings, we also were able to create an environmental friendly township. And I think that's what the benchmark is, both in terms of quality as well as amenities and environmentally friendly situation.
You have built an empire, you are a stalwart. So what is your advice to entrepreneurs about succession planning?
Well, succession planning is extremely important because ultimately somebody has to take over. But today you have to understand there are several methodologies by which succession planning takes place. Earlier, it was only the owner. Now there are a large number of professionals. So if you look at Hiranandani Parks, you'll find that the professionals actually run the show. And it's not family members who actually do the execution of the projects. So while we do the conceptual, the planning and the overall umbrella of ideas and thoughts and vision and direction and construction detailing, the execution is fully professional. So that's a difference which has taken place in yesterday and today and going to take place tomorrow. Tomorrow you will also see a combination of ownership and management's separations which is taking place in lots of professional organizations that do happen. So as we grow bigger and bigger, you will find more to take place. Though succession planning becomes extremely important as to who are capable of taking over, and they are the right ones to take over. So we get a combination of interests. So for instance, my daughter does investments all over the world at this point of time, based in London. My son has put up data centers, which is a new line of business within the real estate field, but on construction and development of data centers. So while they will look after the real estate business and their interests are there also, the expansion into new businesses and ideas also continues to do, and very good professionals in all the businesses.
So you suggest that professionals should run the business along with the family. That's the way forward?
Well, if you want to grow, if you have to grow beyond a certain level of operation, professionals are extremely important to run the show, and you have to have good people in all the professional organization to do, not only in real estate, in every business. So you take any businesses that you want to do, whether it's of technology, whether it's in manufacturing, real estate, all lines in this thing, in the next decades, professionals will become equally important as the ownership of the thing.
Do you have any advice for the startup entrepreneurs of Chennai? Because Chennai is a thriving land for startups and innovation.
So, first of all, we have to understand that the world is changing rapidly. And the opportunities of growth in India is fantastic. 7% GDP growth is the fastest growth in the world. Chennai is even growing faster than that. So as we see the opportunities which are coming in 50 years ago, 40 years ago, the number of opportunities available for different type of businesses and all, including real estate, were very little, small. The size was small, the volume of money was small, availability of money for the purpose of buying houses was less, affordability was not there, IT was not there, industry was not there to the extent to which it is today. So when growth takes place, the opportunities are going to grow multiple times. Number two, availability of money in terms of to people like startups, unbelievable. You're getting money which is unbelievable for it. Just an idea with technology creates a startup which can be worth $1 billion.
Absolutely.
So the unicorn. Now, if you look at these unicorns which are there, what is it? It's the same thing. I mean, take Ola, Uber. They don't have a single car. They don't have a physical taxi. And still, they're worth billions of dollars as a technology company which is based on the top of you being a driver. And they kind of create a uniform platform which could be there. Now, these are ideas. Booking.com, other things are being created, which is a technology base. All these are opportunities. Now, how much can you pick up as an entrepreneur an opportunity and use it to take it to the next level is the way. If I'm not able to absorb the new ideas of change in terms of how we should do business in the next 5 years, I should retire today. In India, we have the brains for the purposes of doing it. We are always considered good minds. So many of the IT people are there, entrepreneurs are there. Fantastic. I think the future is there for Indians.
You've earned name, fame, money. What do you have something that you have not achieved and you want to achieve?
So, I've achieved everything that I wanted to. There are no regrets that there is something which I have not done in my life. So that's fine. However, I treat every day as a bonus, and I feel that God has given me a bonus day in my life, and I want to make maximum use of it in terms of doing it. So every day has to be that little effort to do better, to improve, to give back to society, to improve my work. All the contribution should be added on to it. Because when you realize that human life is so precious in terms of every minute that you have got, if you don't use it, it's gone. So it's fun to do and live one more day, and to be able to do something good, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in hospitals, whether it's in schools, whether it is lecturing to students, interactions with them. A lot of this happens on a daily basis. And I'm delighted. So I want to make the most of every day of my life, and whatever is the residuary time that I have given. And of course, health. Up till now, I have reasonably good health. So, and I'm able to walk and talk and speak to you. So all that and more is a lot of fun. So I enjoy every part of it and every minute of my life. So I'm joyous in my life, which is God's blessing, and want to see what I can give back to people in society and things like that. Nothing left that I want to achieve, but whatever I can achieve today, I shall keep trying.
Sure. Have things changed in real estate when you initially started, maybe about 35 years ago, 35 years
40
ago?
years.
40 years.
I think they're complete changed. What was real estate 40 years ago and now, every 10 years we see a huge amount of change taking place. There were no funding for real estate, for instance. Banks would give no money for real estate development. There was no equity available in the marketplace for the purpose of real estate. There was no availability of listing as far as real estate companies are concerned. There was no proper funding for home loans. Even 25 years ago, the interest on home loans by HDFC or other banks was 16 and 17% interest. And about 15, 20, 17 years ago, this changed. And interest of home loans from HDFC in
which was 16 and a half, 17, came down to 12 and then come down to 9. And then 2.5, 3 years ago, it was 6.5%. So that was the biggest change. So people were able to do it. The second change which really took place, which is paradigm, is the fact that young people could get long-term loans, 20-year loans. So what happened is that it was possible to go to HDFC or any other bank and finance, including public sector banks, state bank and others, would give you long-term loans and possibly to do it. So that was another paradigm which took place. So a young person doing IT, getting his first job, can then get a 20-year loan on the basis of his first job. Now, unbelievable. I mean, in earlier days, nobody could imagine that thing could possibly have happened, and that changed the next paradigm of funding for the purposes of buyers of housing. Then there were income tax relief which came. The interest on home loans came in, and it started with 50,000, 1 lakh, and it's now 2 lakhs. Interest deduction from home loans is capped at 2 lakhs in the last 10, 15 years. I'm hoping that it should have become 5 lakhs in the last budget, but hopefully in the next budget we are representing, and we should get it to 5 lakhs of rupees so that you're able to get the tax deduction, which is very useful to a home buyer.
Very true.
So I think the two things married together. One was the availability of finance, cleaning up the real estate as a business, and that brought about corporate entities to come into real estate. So that was a very big change. So today you would have DLF in Delhi, you would have Lodha in Mumbai, you would have Prestige in Bangalore, you would have Chennai, you have a corporate entity, I'm forgetting the name right now. And all these are IPO'd and getting public money and are able to come into the marketplace. So I think that's great. Also, the other change which took place was entities could do commercial buildings and give it out on rent to multinationals and corporates, where we got FDI funding. So FDI funding came in two ways. One was foreign direct investment in terms of townships. Then, of course, that the conditions were changed and more money came in later on. And then, of course, REITs, the real estate investment trusts, came in, wherein buildings which have been rented out or prospectively rented out for 10 to 15% of the area would be able to list themselves, and people would be able to invest 2 lakhs of rupees at a time and then do it in the real estate business. So I think all these paradigms have happened. What are the change? The last change has come in the budget, long-term capital gains tax benefit which has been given, where the tax on long-term capital gains tax, which was for 3 years lock-in, for getting long-term benefit is now reduced to 2 years, and the rate of tax has come down from 20% to 12.5%. So today, if you invest in shares, and of course that's for 1 year, you get long-term capital gains tax, you pay 12.5%, and if you invest in 2 years in real estate, you also get only 12.5%. So I think all this and more has changed over a period of years, so whatever it is. And last but not the least, RERA, the Real Estate Regulatory Act, has given confidence to all the buyers that their money is secure. So the monies which are put in by the investor or the buyer of the property is escrowed, and 70% of them cannot be used for anything outside of the construction of the buildings which are there. So all that and more is created more similar to a regulator in the capital markets, which is SEBI. We have the regulators in RERA. Of course, here we have state regulators as differentiated because land being a state subject. So all in all, so many changes, and I probably have missed half a dozen more, but too many changes have taken place over a period of years, and which has brought about better business, better quality of business, more corporatization, more confidence to the buyer, and ease of doing business ultimately.
It has improved, sir?
Of course, over a period of time, and the volume has increased. So the number of developers which you have today, as distinguished from when I started business, is probably grown 1,000 times fold. Okay. And also similarly, channel partners and others who are doing realtors, who are doing business, have increased tremendously. And everybody is doing well because food, clothing, shelter, roti, kapda, makan, Everybody needs a makan.
How about construction technology, sir? Has it changed or it is still the same?
Construction technology has not taken much of a change. We still have reinforced cement concrete. The biggest change has been ready-mix concrete. So earlier we would mix concrete on the sites, and obviously the quality in different projects would be different. We would probably do better quality even in those days. But now you get ready-mix concrete where you can actually verify quality and then deliver to your site. So you don't have to worry that the quality of concrete is not good because somebody on the site has mixed it wrong. So it's delivered to your site. So while the technology has changed a little bit in terms of shuttering and other materials like Maivan, but I don't think technology still in the future is going to change so much. So there are faster methods of construction for tower, and of course using of tower cranes. I think that's the big thing that has changed. So you see many more tower cranes in our cities and developments than you saw before. So almost everybody who's doing high rise you have to use tower crane. But I still think we will have further changes in the future. So technology like prefabricated construction, which has taken place in China, we haven't seen it. You can't get a 40-storied building in 12 months and be ready, manufactured inside, brought here and like a mechano set completed. But it will happen. I think personally in the next couple of years, we will see it happen. I hope it comes true. We'll be able to complete projects in, again, much shorter times and faster pace and make it, and being factory done, the quality should be much better because it will be pre-verified at the factory site as to the quality of it, and you'll get a guarantee probably from the factory.
Absolutely. What do you think is the role of AI in real estate?
So AI is relatively new as compared to the rest of the things which are operation. AI has an advantage of working faster than the human brain.
Absolutely.
And gives you solutions with large amount of data coming into the whole thing to give decisions or ideas of things that really need to be done. So earlier we would consider the human mind to be super fast as compared to any computer or internet speed. With AI coming in, artificial intelligence is used to use knowledge of the entire world and be able to speed up or give better decision making process. Well, there are thousands of such decision making which will be speeded up by artificial intelligence. So a lot of routine jobs which are happening today will disappear. Coding, for example. Artificial intelligence could take over and you could say, I want this to be done. You feed it into the computer and the coding will be over because machines will do much faster work than human beings can possibly do.
Is redevelopment also comes under state subject, sir? Because
yes, everything connected which is land is always a state subject. The funding and financing, only Real Estate Regulatory Act was done by the center, but all the states gave consent for the center to create one single regulatory policy. But implementation again is with the states. RERA is to be implemented by the states because it's under the constitution, land is a state subject.
Understand, sir. I understand from your colleagues that you're always at the helm of the things and complete control in office. Is it the same at home also, sir?
It's a double-edged question. The answer is no. Very simple, that she rules the roost, and now that she comes to the office, she also rules it there sometimes. So the idea is not really something over there, and I'm glad that we are able to get a woman's insight into many aspects of the things over there. She's sometimes right, and I'm not so correct. So one has to think back and say, all right, let me take her opinion also on certain aspects of things. It's fun.
You don't look your age. What is the secret mantra, sir?
I think it's good genes. My father died when he was 96 and my mother passed away when she was 94. So I think I'm blessed with good genes. I do my routine of exercise. I'm in the gym almost 6 days a week, cardio and physical exercises. I play a game of squash. I
do yoga, in terms of wanting to take care of my health. I'm not perfect in my health. I do have my own problems in terms of health, but I'm cautious in terms of taking care of it in terms of physical exercise. I'm a little weak in terms of food eating habits, but I'll try and improve.
Weak in the sense, which cuisine do you like, sir?
No, I like any food, but
Okay.
I'm fond. Not too much, but my wife can keep upwas. I cannot. So it's the point is that she does fasting, and I do more feasting than fasting.
In Chennai, did you try any local cuisines?
In Hiranandani Parks, we have a large number of foreigners. They're Koreans, Asians, Japanese, and others. And I tried the Japanese, Korean food, and vegetarian. Unbelievable. And it was very, very, very tasty. Because there's so many foreigners in Hiranandani Park, in Oragadam, that they have all sorts of cuisine over here. So, very interesting.
Have you ever tried idlis, dosas?
Oh, I'm very fond of idli and dosa and all that. At least once a week, it's only idli, dosa, and sambar and chutney is there. The best part I find about Chennai is filter coffee. Filter coffee in Mumbai is never the same as filter coffee in Chennai. I don't know why. Even though you go to, except in Matunga, we have a place there where they get very good coffee. But in Chennai, filter coffee is always very good.
So, pleasure speaking to you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable time and insights on various subjects and taking us through your journey. Thank you, sir.
Nandri.
Thank you.